Alright, so the game crashed. At the end of the last video, the game just crashed. So we're gonna come back to this point, and we're gonna do this boss fight until it works. I don't know what's going on here. These bosses, man. I think that... What the... I don't do that. I think the game just... It wasn't... Okay, we just died.
Oh, shit! They brought out the big guns! Man, take out those cannons!
Yeah, I'm just chilling out down here. Okay, never mind, I died.
There must be a shield.
I think they didn't test the game enough on new players, which is a thing that can happen, is that, you know, you have game testers who test the game, but if you have like the same 20 guys playing the game over and over again...
Go man, take out those cannons!
What the... If it's the same 20 guys playing the game over and over again, then you don't get the perspective of a person who is just playing the game for the first time, which is what I am. And so some of the things that you understand because you played the game over and over again are things that new players don't understand.
Take out those cannons!
There must be a shield. Psycho, get us closer. Nomad, I'll transmit a signal through your suit.
We're taking fire! I can't get near that thing!
Nomad, knock out those turrets so we can get within range.
I'm on it!
Okay, Psycho, bring her in as close as you can get.
So the idea is
sure hope you know what you're doing.
Ha! Ditto!
So like if I played this game 5 times already,
Nomad, stand by.
I would be a lot more proficient at this.
Hold on, I think it's working.
Shit, they're all over us! Nomad, keep them off our tail!
Is it dead? No, it's not. Okay, now it's dead.
I got it! The shield's down!
Use the tack cannon! Wax that thing!
I thought you'd never ask!
Beautiful! That's one down!
Okay. Do I need more ammo? This seems like a bad idea to me.
Okay, I'm working on the second one.
Let's save there.
There's more of them! Cover us, Nomad!
It's a minigun. Okay, who is... Alright, good. Nice.
Second shield's down!
Go on, mate! Take down that cannon! Lock on with the tack gun!
What do you think I'm doing, dude?
Got it! Nice shooting! Oh, fuck! Hang on!
Hang on, you say.
No, man, it's gonna sink us! Take that fucking thing down!
Take what down? Take what down?
Okay, the hatch is open!
Nuke that son of a bitch!
Okay, wait a minute. I just got blown up by One of these things just fell onto me and I just got blown up.
Fuck! Hang on! No man, it's gonna sink us! Take that fucking thing down!
Alright, kill those guys. Maybe just grab this ammo. Oh, these things are on the ground trying to kill me, I see.
There's a hatch on the underside. Try to blast it open and see if you can fire a nuke in there.
Okay, the hatch is open.
Okay, I think we did it this time.
Nuke that son of a bitch!
Hurry, Nomad!
What the? Oh, come on. Did I just die again? Why does the freeze ray still fire
Oh, fuck! Hang on!
after I nuke the gun?
No man, it's gonna sink us! Take that fucking thing down!
Okay, where's the other guy? There.
Okay, the hatch is open.
Nuke that son of a bitch! It's gonna hit the deck, Nomad! Come on!
But I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what. No, I'm shooting at it. I don't have any ammo.
Come on! Hurry! Hurry, Nomad! Come on! You can make it!
But the nuke. No target lock. No target lock. The game's glitched out. The game.
Hurry! We're not leaving without you!
Oh, we're leaving? But I didn't actually nuke the.
It's gonna hit the deck, Nomad! Come on!
But I haven't actually nuked the thing. Go where? Where am I going? I'm evacuating. Okay, we are running out of here. Can I like run faster with a pistol? Okay, we're running away.
Come on! Hurry! Hurry, Nomad!
But I didn't nuke it that
Come
time.
on! You can make it!
What is happening? Alright,
Come
well.
on! Jump! Jump! Come on! You can make it!
Okay, we made it, guys. What happened?
Hold on!
Come on, Psycho! Go! Go! Go!
Okay, cool. Well, we lost the aircraft carrier as well.
Oh no! Wait! Oh no, man! Hold on to me! Pull me in!
I'm surprised the plane is still in the air and not sucked in as well. Oh wait, this is in engine. It's not a cutscene. This is rendering in the game engine. Wow, that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing for a 10-year-old game.
There's a naval fleet en route from Japan. They'll be here within the hour.
I'm setting course to intercept.
No. We know how to beat them now. We need to keep fighting.
I'm picking up a transmission.
What is it?
You ain't gonna believe this, mate. It's Prophet.
He's alive?
And kicking by the sound of it. Looks like he's inside the sphere.
Lock onto his position. Going back.
Okay, sure. Go back. Sure, go. I mean, it seems like it would be smarter to wait for reinforcements, but that's the end of the first game. Look, the boss fight would have been really cool if I had any idea at all what was going on. So I was saying that it seems like they tested the game with like the same 20 people or something, or maybe even 50 people. But so you know, if you've played that before, and now that I've played that before, if I play it again, it would be a really smooth experience because I would know what to expect, right? I would know, like the final boss, for example, I would know to take cover and shoot the cannons. And then after the cannons are down, the 3 of those flying things will come, so I have to take out the flying things. Then we have to use the nuke to take out the side bits, and then there'll be more flying things, and then use the nuke again, take out the other side bit. And then we have to like kill more flying things, and then some ground things, and then we have to shoot at the hole in the bottom of it, and then you shoot the nuke into it. And then after that, you run towards the plane. Like like we died several times because I didn't really understand that we have to run towards the plane after we nuked the thing, because like, and I didn't know which way was the plane. The plane, was it to the left or to the right? So I ran left, and then I died again. And the next time I ran right, and the plane's to the right. So it's like, you know, you die several times just not knowing that you're supposed to run to the right. So it's stuff like that. So now that I know the entire sequence, if I played the game again, if I played that through that boss fight again, it'll be much smoother. So it's one of these things where it's great if you already know what you're supposed to do. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, you die several times trying to figure out what you're supposed to do, and then you finish it. And I think most of the game is a little bit like that. I mean, you might say, well, isn't every game like that? Not really. Some games manage to communicate to the player what they're supposed to do. And some games, when you die over and over again, it's not quite as jarring as this. Like in this game, you just kind of die and then you reload at the autosave. Whereas other games, you can design a boss fight, for example, where if you fail, the boss fight just resets. So maybe like you're trying to climb up a series of platforms to get to the boss, and then if you fail, you fall down, you just have to climb back up again. So there's no hard failure, it's just that you fail to progress it. So like you can design the sequence in a way that there's no kind of fade to black and then reload and then try again. And so then it would feel like, it wouldn't feel like you're just kind of failing over and over again, it would just feel like, oh, this is a hard challenge, and I'm just gonna keep trying until it works. You might think, well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is you're not dying. Like, the outcome is the same, but you're not dying anyway. It's not a... It's difficult too, because, for example, if you're developing a game, you pay money to game testers to test your game for you. But for it to really work, you have to hire new testers to play it blind, but then once they've played it through, you can't rely on them anymore for that blind experience. So it's difficult, let's put it that way. It's difficult to just kind of pick a person who's never played your game before, have them play it once, give you feedback, and then not use them ever again. It's not like from a business point of view and from like a management point of view, this seems like the most ridiculous thing. So you hire them for one day, they play it once, and then you pay them for that day, and then you never use them again. This doesn't seem correct from a business point of view, but or from a management point of view. But from a game design point of view, you really need that perspective of the person who's never played the game before. And I think for a lot of parts of the game, it was kind of wacky and silly because we've never played it before and didn't know what to expect, and therefore, like, the game would just continue. The game assumes you know what's going on, and you're just bumbling around, and then the game just assumes you know what's going on and just keeps going. And the sequences, there have been several times where it's like, oh, you drive the tank forward and then you blow up with the mines, and then you're like, okay, well, I'll just try the other side then. So instead of going right, I'll go left this time, and then you're fine. So it's stuff like that. It just seems really stupid to just kind of roll your tank into mines and just get blown up. Right? And it's like, well, like I mean, when you're in the tank, you can't really see what's going on either. I mean, you can kind of see what's going on, but your tank, you can't see what's underneath your tank. There's mines there, you blow up and die. And in other parts, you walk up, and then there's like two guys sniping at you at the same time, and you just die immediately. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not going that way. And then you die, you reload, you walk the other way, and you're fine. So in every part of this game, like when you fail, it's dying and then reloading. And that's for a game that really needs you to know what's happening, it's a difficult way to learn the game. I mean, it's really cinematic. Maybe it's really good for you guys to watch. Maybe it's a great game to watch. If you're watching these videos, maybe it's great for you guys. It's cinematic, there's a lot of guns, a lot of action. To play it is maybe the second time and the third time you play it, it'll be much smoother. I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that the second time I played it, if I played it again ever, the game would be a really smooth experience. But at the same time, there's not much value in playing it again because it's a story-based shooter. So it's like once you've played through it once, there's not that much point playing it over and over again. Like there's no extra things to be gained from playing it over and over again. The graphics are starting to show their age. I mean, it is 10 years ago. 10 years ago, hardly any computers can play this game because it's so demanding on the graphics. And you can see why. There's a lot of foliage, all the foliage move. And in fact, like in terms of the physics and the graphics, it's quite an accomplishment. But in other ways, it's also starting to show its age. Like there's no SSAO, for example, or ambient occlusion, screen space ambient occlusion. So there's no ambient occlusion, and there's no. So some of these other things that make the modern games look better, like diffuse lighting and stuff, or like things that simulate diffuse lighting. It's not in this game. I don't think there's displacement map. Maybe there is displacement maps. So there's a bunch of stuff that's in modern graphics that's missing from this, and you can tell when you look at it. So like in some ways, it's still really demanding on modern graphics cards. In other ways, it's missing some of these modern graphics techniques, and so it doesn't actually look as good as some of the modern games. Crysis. It spawned a meme. It spawned the can it run Crysis meme. I wonder if that's worthwhile. I really do. Like, but why not make like a less demanding game that more people can play? Or like more people can play it at the time that you make it. It's almost a masterpiece. It's almost a masterpiece. It really is. It's a high tier game. It's not the top tier game. It's a high tier game. yeah. Just trying to think about other games. Like the first time I played Half-Life 2, was it like this? The first time I played Half-Life 2, was it like you just bumble around and it failed? No, the first time I played Half-Life 1, it was like this. So Half-Life 1 didn't communicate as well as Half-Life 2. Half-Life 1, the first time I played it, and even if I play it now, because you forget most of it after a while, even if I play it now, I think I'll still do it. Like you kind of run around and you die a lot, and then you figure out what you're not supposed to do, and then you finish the game that way. More so than Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 does a really good job of communicating to the player what's going on. Like it's really good. And Portal, I keep pointing to like Valve games. The fact that I'm even comparing this to Valve games is an indication that I do think quite highly of this, even though I keep talking about, you know, how this game is almost good, almost brilliant. Like I'm comparing them to like the best games in the world, or the best games in history. And Valve is really good, especially if you play Portal. Valve is really good at communicating to the player what they're supposed to be doing, right? Holy cow, look at all these people. Is this like special thanks? I think this is special thanks. I don't think this is actually people who made the game. A lot of people worked on this game, wow. Compliance leads. Oh, are those the game testers? I think those are the game testers. Compliance test team. Compatibility group, yeah, okay. This game is almost brilliant. I mean, there's a lot of things that I wish it was. I wish it was an open world game that I can just keep playing. But it's not. It's a game that really depends on the story, and so once the story is over, there's no more game, right? But there's like the levels are so big and so detailed. You would think that, well, why if they put in like more loot, like more RPG progress elements, and it can become an open world game. Like the technology is there in the game engine for that to be possible, right? Like everything I think about this game, I just think like I wish it was this, and or I wish it was that, or you know, I wish the game communicated better. I wish the AI didn't see you so easy, so you can sneak. Remember that? Remember trying to sneak, and all the enemies just see you immediately? It never worked. The sneaking never worked. I know. I mean, there's an invisibility thing in the suit, but the invisibility thing doesn't really last. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to like go invisible, sit still, wait for the enemies to walk past you, and then keep sneaking? It's not really a stealth game though, is it? It's not really a stealth game. Like once you get to the aliens, it's not a stealth game, it's just an action game. I think it's meant to be an action game, but then they put in this stealth capability there, and the people tell you, oh, you should go in low and quiet. And so it's like, what do they want you to sneak, or? Yeah, it's like everything is just a little bit off. And everything is like, I can see how this can be more, but then it's not more. What it is almost brilliant. The zero gravity stuff, I mean, it's interesting, but then there's like only 2 types of enemies. They'll just float around. One of them has a gun, one of them doesn't have a gun. So, and there's like, okay, so there's zero gravity combat, which is, and then conceptually cool. But then there's like, you just fight through the same 2 enemies, room after room after room, and you're like, okay, this is getting boring now. And like the combat wasn't all that interesting either, the zero gravity combat. There's like what, 2 types of common aliens. There were bosses, but like not counting the bosses, there were only like 2 types of aliens, or maybe 3. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe, but the thing is, like, what they've made here presents something that has greater potential. So it leads me to think about these things. The credits are still going. It's not repeating. It's additional production management, research and development, lead graphics programmer, lead 3D engine programmer, lead renderer programmer, senior graphics, physics, animation, audio. Should I skip out of the... I can't remember if it's... Additional research into... I don't know if this is just repeating or if it's not repeating. Game programming? Is it looping? I'm thinking maybe I should look up what games uses the Crytek engine. Game design, it must be looping somehow. I wasn't paying attention to the credits. I don't know if this is looping or not. And I don't know if you guys wanted me to sit through the whole thing or not. There's not a lot of level designers. It's like a single name for the level design. It kind of shows, to be honest. It kind of like there's not that many people doing the work, and it kind of shows because, you know, like as I said, like the game works really well if you know what's going on. But it's kind of silly and ridiculous if you don't know what's going on. And that sort of thing can happen when you have only one person working on the level design, right? Because when you have only one person working on the level design, the level designer knows everything in that level, and they don't get a second opinion very often. They only get it when they test the game. So that's like, when the person who knows everything about the thing is the only person working on it, that's exactly what happens. What happens is that you get a product that makes sense to that person, but doesn't always make sense to anyone else until they are as familiar with it as that person. Okay, I'm gonna get out of this. This is way too long. Alright, well that's Crysis. Before we go, let me just Crytek engine. Cry engine. I want to see like games that use. So this is CryEngine 1, I think. CryEngine 1. Far Cry. Crysis is CryEngine 2. Okay. Actually, this is CryEngine 1 used licensed to NCSoft for Aeon or Ion, The Tower of Eternity, MMORPG, Ubisoft Far Cry Digital CryEngine, Perpetual License. Alright. So it's used for Ion. See, look, CryEngine 2, look at this. So Crysis is just a shooter. But look at this, MMORPG, massively multiplayer virtual world. Confirmed that it will not be part of Crysis, may not in fact be a first-person shooter. Alright. Announced CryEngine 3, Crysis 2. Australian Defence Force Navy personnel were trained on a virtual landing helicopter dockship made using the CryEngine 3. I don't see that many games actually using the Crytek engine. CryEngine. Back to Dinosaur Island. List of CryEngine games, this is what I want. So Far Cry, of course. Far Cry, Ion, Blue Mars, whatever that is, it's like a virtual reality thing. Crysis, Drug Wars, Entropia Universe, The Day Vigilance, Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, Archage. Is it that's an MMORPG, isn't it? Civilization Online, really? Cabal 2, Enemy Front, Godslayer Heathen, Icarus Online. These are not, or MechWarrior Online. Monster Hunter Online uses the CryEngine, really? Sniper Ghost Warrior 2, State of Decay. Armor Warfare, everybody's gone to the Rapture. Homefront the Revolution. Reached Son of Rome. Right. Star Citizen uses the CryEngine. Okay, CryEngine 5. Prey. Sure. I mean, I don't really know what to make of that. I mean, there are some like big games there, but not the really big hits, it seems like. Alright, I think I've wasted enough time. Alright, so that's Crysis. It's almost brilliant. It's quite good. It's quite good, and maybe it's better the second time you play it. But I mean, as I keep playing, like as I play through it, I keep thinking, I wish this was better. Not in the sense that it's bad and I wish it was better. In the sense that it is almost brilliant and I wish it was brilliant. So it's very good, but I could see how it could be brilliant and I wish it was brilliant, but it's only very good. It seems like such a... It seems like I'm being so mean to it, right? I'm being so mean to Crysis. It's like, dude, it's a good game. Just shut up already. Alright, fine. Alright, that's it. I'll see you in other playthroughs. It's a very good game, but it's not. It's almost brilliant.